really put up a fight, and now I'm losing sleep. What if I lost touch? What if I'll never get it right? I try to follow my heart, but I lost it somehow. Wish that someone could say it'll all be okay. Just listen to me as I say. Listen to me as I slow it down. Dreams are yours if you want it. Enjoy the ride, 'cause those ups and those downs is what makes it worth it. Slow it down. Dreams are yours if you want it. Enjoy the ride, 'cause those ups and those downs is what makes it worth it. I never left a stone unturned. In this crazy world, I felt like I was never hurt. All I wanted was to be loved. All I wanted was to be loved.
Hey, it's Chappie's Crypto here again with another episode of my trading journal. It is episode 11 for the night of the 3rd of August and the morning of the 4th of August in Australia, and that was for my trading session for last night. So this is a bit of a review of how I've gone last night. Hope you enjoy it. We'll get straight into it, and here we go. This is my charts. I'll just bring up my results for last night. I'll explain the results and then I'll go into detail of the trades themselves. So last night, interesting evening. I overtraded a little bit. I was probably overall happy. I stuck with my plan. I'll go over some of the things that I did. Probably learnt a few lessons. However, not bad. This is my demo account. $508 profit there. So gross profit $530. Total profitable trades $879 and losing trades $349. So pretty good result generally. Just had one winning trade and 3 losers, and we'll go into each of those trades in a minute. So this is Tradeovate, which is the trading platform I use, although a broker I use in the States, Australian based, but I funded it through my account straight through to the American bank account, and trading through Tradeovate. There is no ongoing monthly membership fees with Tradeovate on the plan that I'm on. However, I do pay for data, so I only pay, I think it's about $4 a month for the NASDAQ and the CME exchange data. However, the actual I also pay $10 a month for a TradingView feed, because I actually use TradingView to place my trades, which goes straight through into this interface. So you can trade within Tradeovate on their platform, and I've done a whole video series on explaining how to use their platform. But just for full disclosure, this is my demo account. I'm currently at 14,310. Started with a $10,000 account about 2.5 weeks ago now, I think. And when I go into the performance center here, which is for people that aren't familiar within Tradeovate, up the top right hand corner in the demo account, slightly different in the normal funded account. If you come down here to that little cogwheel, in the cogwheel you can then pull up these account reports. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull up a custom range. I'm going to go to yesterday. I'll set the time, and I'm obviously in Australia here, so I'll set the time to say 9 p.m. last night through to today now, and it'll show me all the trades that I took in the last effectively 10 hours or so. So hopefully that is helps you just get some context, and we'll get stuck into it now. So these are my trades this is the setup. So when I was looking at the setup last night, obviously, as you can imagine, the chart was like this. I didn't see what was coming up. I was watching the market coming up until the 8:30 time frame in New York. I had marked on my charts the price at midnight. So this is the price at midnight, and I had marked just before the 8:30 we had a bit of a high here, and I also was paying attention to this previous low. So there were 2 levels I was looking for. I'd convinced myself that the market was going to head down, so I was looking for some downward action. And so my bias was down based on my daily review and looking at the daily charts or the daily timetable. So I got the bias wrong. However, you'll see how this played out when I go down the 1 minute time frame. So we'll go down the 1 minute time frame just to really drill into that. and I'll review the trades that I did and see what I can learn. Remembering that the whole point of this video series is really for me to review my trades. It's an opportunity to do a reflection. So rather than doing a written journal, this is my equivalent of a written journal. So I didn't take any trades in the S&P last night. I was just totally focused on NASDAQ. So as the market opened, 8:30 is the time that ICT in his mentorship series talks about starting to pay attention to the market in the indices. So this is 8:30 here. I use a indicator on TradingView called Session Sam, or Nephew Sam. So if you're in Australia, this is available internationally, but if you're in Australia, you want to know the settings for Australia. These are the settings I use. I took a bit of time fluffing around with time zone differences. So up here, if you take a screenshot of that, if you're in Australia, you want to get the settings the same, just make a note of that. That'll give you these bars that you'll see in my chart. So this one is from 8:30 till 12. That's the lunch session. That's the afternoon session. But let's get into these trades. So first trade I took, I was actually waiting for the price to break above this, and then I was expecting the price to go that direction. That was my bias I had in my head. I was being impatient, and it was what I've realized when I reflect on my trading. I want to get the market, so I tend to take, it almost happens every time. The first couple of trades I take in a session generally are losers, so I probably should learn from that. However, in an ideal world, what I should have been doing here is waiting for the price to break above this, and then wait for the trade signal to show itself. However, what I did here is price had actually done kind of up here. Price had come down. We've got a breaker market structure. Yeah, well, as I said, I was waiting for price to go to this direction. So for me, there's a breaker market structure here. We've got a fair value gap. So if we zoom in quite a little bit here, you'll actually see what I mean by a fair value gap. The fair value gap on this chart is actually here. So there's a fair value gap just there. It's only a little tiny one. So when I was watching this, I've got the price did this. So that when price broke through there, we have a market structure break. However, on reflection, I should have seen a stronger push down. So if I'd seen a candle like this going that direction, that would have been a much better signal to get me a proper market structure break. And then price moved back up, and on the ICT method, that's the target. So that's my entry. So I took a sell order there, so a short order at 13,004.5, and I would have been targeting down here. I placed my stop loss just there, and I did make sure I didn't adjust my stop losses too much, so I kept my stop loss in place. I'm glad I did. I only did two contracts to start. The price just fluffed around. I was starting to feel confident it was going to head, and then unfortunately I just had this feeling 9:30, and then the feeling played out and price just reversed. So 9:30 opens and bang, stop loss hit. I convinced myself that we were possibly just going to see this happen. I thought, you know, we might just see this. That's what I thought might have played out. So I was still looking for shorts. And what I did, I actually looked back in time, and if you pull back and you go to the 15-minute for a second, you will see, if you go back, that there's these other levels here. So if I mark off some of these other levels, it'll give you a bit of a feeling for what I was looking at. So you've got this fair value gap here. Sorry, I went back way too far. Apologize for that. We've got price back here, so we got a fair value, a previous high here, so I marked that off. We got a fair value gap from previously as well, so I marked that off. These are just points of interest, so I was just keeping an eye on these because I was interested to see what price did at these levels. So we go back down to that. So I had drawn those on my chart last night when I was doing my trades. We'll go back down to the 1 minute again. I tend to trade on the 1 minute time frame mostly. Although I start at the 15, I go down to the 5, look for setups, and eventually I tend to end up always finding myself hanging out at the 1 minute time frame. So I'd mark these levels out just to pay attention to what price did and how price responded when it got to those levels. And you'll see here that I was still short bias. So price came up, it fluffed around here, kept on moving, broke through, and then we did this. So we got a market structure break here in the reverse direction. We have a tiny little, it's only very small, a fair value gap here. And so I took another short position here. So I took 4 contracts short position. I placed my stop just above that and got it wrong. Stopped out. So first one lost $49. Second trade down 180. At this moment, I'm going, oh, this is not going great. But I stayed true to what I thought was going to happen. Probably been a bit obstinate. Similarly, price broke above this level again. We've got this move. Now this one, on retrospect, didn't meet my rules, and when I reflect on it, this is probably the only trade I took last night I shouldn't have taken. So this was just the fact that I got the bias wrong. But this one here, I broke my rules. So very, very, on reflection, not a great move. I was reading too much in it. There's no genuine market structure break here, because although the price has come up, what should have happened here, I should have seen this happen and then wait for the retracement, but I didn't. Too impatient, took a position, had my stop just at this level. I got stopped out almost immediately, lost another 120. So that was where I was at. Now the next trade I took, I was super happy because besides the fact that it was a profitable trade, it played out perfectly based on one of the things that ICT teaches in his mentorship series. So the entry, this is it's going to sound like I'm reasonably quite arrogant when I say this. This is a really precision entry. So check out this. So price comes down, comes up. So we've got a low formed here. Then we've got a market structure shift or market structure break. So the price broke below this level. We've got a tiny weeny fair value gap here, just there. So if we zoom in, I'll show you exactly what I was looking at. I've got an indicator on my chart called this fractal break imbalance fair value gap that automatically draws the fair value gap. So there's a tiny fair value gap drawn on the chart last night. And so I actually placed a limit sell order here, and for 6 contracts. So I was essentially building the size of my contract as the trading session went on. The other thing I thought about when I did this, and part of the reason I did six contracts, because we've got 1, 2, and the third pump. So usually I've been trading now for 18 months. I'm not generally profitable, except I've had a really good last couple of weeks with my demo account. But usually when you see this 3 pumps, I just had this feeling, you know what, we may have hit a bit of a short-term high here and we might see this retracement. So I took a short position there, 6 contracts on the micro E-mini. I also then, and this is one of the things I learned from the ICT mentorship series, and this whole way I'm trying to learn how to trade is based on his system. To choose an appropriate target, there's a couple of really obvious places. So obviously there's this low, that low, that low, and this. So if the market actually genuinely is going like this, you could have placed your stop down here, or your target. However, one of the things he teaches is you use the Fibonacci tool, so the Fib retracement tool here, and you mark out the range that we've just gone through. So from the top to the bottom of that range was this, and note the 50% line, or the 0.5, so which is here. So when I draw that along here, you'll see that this previous low just here lines up really nicely to that level. So that was my target. I was hoping price, and I actually placed my target profit level just above that 0.5 line, so just before here, or just above the lower there, and this played out really nicely. It wasn't in the trade for too long. Bang, look at that, $879 profit on that one trade, made up for all the losses, and I ended the night with a $508 profit. So super happy with that session. Thank you, ICT. Your mentorship's been amazing. I continue to learn how to trade using your system. For people that aren't familiar with my goals, I have these goals, which is simply to try and save 10 grand. I've got about $800 saved so far. I want to double my demo account, and then also rewatch all of his videos again on the ICT mentorship series. So pretty stoked with that. When you track my particular account here, if I just close this again, 14,310 is my current equity. It'll be interesting to see how I go tonight, see if another profitable session or not. So there you go. It's Chappie's Crypto, another episode 11 of my trading journey. I hope you're enjoying the videos, and until next time, bye for now.
I really wanted to get it right. Trying to find some balance in my life. I never really put up a fight, and now I'm losing sleep. What if I lost touch? What if I'll never get it right? I try to follow my heart, but I lost it somehow. Wish that someone could say it'll all be okay. Just listen to me as I say. Listen to me as I slow